This is the AM News with me, Sweetie Bashi, and we begin from the judiciary because the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, has approached the High Court to challenge the proceedings aimed at removing her from office. In a bold and unprecedented move, the Chief Justice, at a news conference yesterday, described her removal process as deeply flawed and unconstitutional. The Chief Justice said she has been left with no options but to seek judicial intervention. And Joy News' Michael Ashali tells you more.
The Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, is once again fighting processes to remove her, this time not just in the court, but before the cameras too, outlining 4 key reasons for breaking her silence this novel way.
Every step of the removal process being undertaken against me is being done in a manner that breaks every rule on how justice is delivered in our country. And this is why I find the need to draw the nation's attention to the serious violations of the Constitution and law in the process, and the danger it holds for the development of the nation's democracy.
Her message was strong and direct. She will not resign, describing the proceedings to remove her from office as unconstitutional, unlawful, and dangerous for Ghana's democracy.
If I resign under these circumstances, I will be saying that this flawed, unknown, and opaque process is acceptable. It is not.
This is the first time in Ghana's history that a sitting Chief Justice faces removal through such a process. Justice Torkornoo called it historic but deeply flawed and warned of the lasting damage it could cause to judicial independence.
It's historic. In all of Ghana's 68-year history as an independent republic, there has never been a hearing for the removal of the Chief Justice. One would therefore have hoped that if such a process becomes necessary, it would provide good guidance and precedent for nation building. Unfortunately, every step of the removal process being undertaken against me is being done in a manner that breaks every rule on how justice is delivered in our country.
The suspended Chief Justice says the choice of Edu Lodge, cordoned off and heavily guarded, is psychological intimidation.
I was also living with him at the time he was abducted and murdered. Was Edu Lodge chosen for my inquiry to make me feel insecure? I think so. And I continue to hold the view that there's no reason why a judicial hearing is being conducted behind the high walls of Edu Lodge.
She also challenged the 3 petitions that triggered her suspension, calling them misleading, misinformed, and in some cases, outright false.
And so I knew that it was necessary that the issues being thrown around as petitions against me needed to get into the public space. I swore to a supplementary affidavit alerting the Supreme Court also of human rights violations that I had started encountering when I went to the Article 146 hearings. However, the members of the Supreme Court that had the petition for the hearing in open, and they also struck out the supplementary affidavit at the request of the Attorney General. I have decided to make this statement today because the violations have not stopped. Indeed, they have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible in justice delivery.
In the last hour, the embattled Chief Justice has taken legal action at the High Court, hoping to challenge the legality of the proceedings and to stop what she describes as a miscarriage of justice.
It is this total absence of compliance with all known rules of fair hearing that has caused my lawyers to file applications for judicial review in the High Court to declare all the proceedings void. Because The clear danger is that through this flagrant violation of CI 47 and the darkness of the current proceedings being held in camera behind the walls of Edu Lodge, my lawyers and I can come to the end of the proceedings. The evidence will show that every one of those allegations in the petitions that were given to me on 27th March is unfounded and untrue.
Justice Gertrude Torkornoo insists that she's innocent in the face of all the allegations that have been made against her. She insists that staying to fight is not a battle for her alone, but if she wins for the entire judicial system. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Moving on from the judiciary, civil society organizations have tasked the government to ensure the passage of the non-profit bill set to regulate their activities. This came up after an assurance by the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, at the third Civil Society Forum that the bill will be given the needed attention. The CEOs, which say the bill will help regulate and strengthen the operations, also asked for the smooth registration of NGOs. Hannah Odame was at the forum and has more.
The forum, among others, is to take stock of the work of civil society groups and, most importantly, how to fill the funding gaps after the massive cut by the U.S. government after the Trump administration took over. Delivering the keynote address, Chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Ninoy Thompson, noted CSOs must work at boosting their credibility by accounting for donations they receive and also recalibrate in the face of declining funding.
For a whole range of reasons, organizations and even governments in rich countries may continue to fund CSOs in Ghana and Africa, even in the face of declining resources. Here, the case for credibility takes on somewhat different hue or significance, where local CSOs must then prove that they are not conduits or pawns for a sinister agenda of global or ideological manipulation and domination. And the brother from New York did allude to that, so that CSOs do not work to the whims of those who give them money.
Chairperson of the Coordinating Committee of the Forum, Beauty Emefanate, enumerated measures being put in place to meet the requirements outlined by Dr. Thompson.
The Ghana Civil Society Forum continues to provide platforms for networking, knowledge sharing, and capacity building among CSOs, and enhancing our effectiveness in promoting sustainable development. We have also set in place measures to put in place a peer review mechanism that will help us to hold each other to account and deepen our accountability.
On her part, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, said reforms needed to facilitate activities of the CSOs has become imperative, reason why government is actively considering passage of the non-profit bill, which is expected to also represent the tenets of the CSOs.
There is currently no specific law in place that facilitates the activities of CSOs and nurtures the development of the civil society space. The non-profit bill is in the works, and we are committed to working with civil society to build consensus towards passing the bill into law.
Directors of some CSOs who spoke to Joy News expressed hope the recommendations made at the forum will be implemented.
The Vice President has given a broad way. He has given us the way. He has told us what is supposed to be done. But it's left with CSOs and the organizations, the policy makers, and then the institutions to implement it, to make sure it is done. Unfortunately, it is not the reality on the ground.
Having a business that generates some and then you can use that income, to finance. Yes. We have a number of activities. We have, for instance, we have a training center that actually is hired out for use. We also have training programs that we actually run ourselves, and then to be able to get some income. We have also members who are actually contributing that is what creates the sense of ownership, sense of, being local. So we are trying a lot of interventions that can help us to, sustain, our work.
The two-day event, organized by the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, brought together civil society leaders, policymakers, and development partners. For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
Let me take you to Kumasi now, because applicants at the National Identification Authority in Kumasi met closed doors. Staff have laid down their tools, demanding improved working conditions. They say government has failed to pay the operational support allowance for this year. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports from Kumasi.
Ideally, when you come to the Kumasi office of the National Identification Authority, you should find a number of people queuing or massing up here in their numbers to seek services from the officials here at the office. But unfortunately today, the numbers aren't the same. It's entirely empty. Nobody is around. And even the canopy where these applicants sit whenever they come to the office is entirely empty. And as you can see some people lying on the benches under this canopy. And we have been interacting with some of the applicants who have trooped in here to seek services, but were unfortunately turned away and they are left stranded. What do you need it urgently for?
So I'm a first year student in Taken. The president is implementing a no stress fee policy, that's to reimburse us with our school fees. Yeah, so in order for you to get your school fees, you need to register using your Ghana card. Yeah, so I came here for my Ghana card, so I'll be able to apply for it.
So when you came, what has really happened? Have you engaged with any of the officials here?
Nah, there's no one here, so I'm currently standing around.
So in case you don't get it, how bad is this going to affect you?
Currently, for the policy, there's no deadline for it, so I'm not shaking. Yeah, but I have to get it.
Yeah, because like I was registered since for the past 3 years, so that time they say they got like short of the card, so that I just come back, so that I came here. I just come here this morning to find it because it's very urgent. It's gonna help me more when I'm in abroad, so that like currently when I'm coming, I get the visa. So that if I got the Ghana card, it's going to help me so that to make everything shorter for me. But unfortunately, I get here, so they say they are on strike. We come very far from Askorimampong to here. We just take the taxi to here. So, but unfortunately, we couldn't. Then they didn't go any update like when they are coming, when they resume or something like that.
Mine has gotten missing, so I really need it. It's very urgent. Yeah.
So in case they don't come anytime soon, what is going to happen? Because I know you said you need it urgently for something you are doing, but in case it doesn't come urgently?
I don't know what to do again.
So until this particular industrial action is called off, the offices of the National Identification Authority will continue to remain empty, with many prospective applicants left stranded. And they are calling on the government to ensure an amicable resolution to this impasse. From here at the Kumasi Regional Office of the National Identification Authority, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Let's do some other stories now. And members of Parliament on the Defence and Interior Committee have assured the Ghana Prison Service of swift action to address its long-standing challenges. During a working visit to the service's headquarters, the lawmakers acknowledged the critical conditions affecting the agency and pledged to advocate for improved resources and working conditions. Adobe Asare has more in this report.
For decades, the Ghana Prison Service has operated in the shadows, burdened by dire constraints that have taken a toll on its staff and operations. Overcrowded cells, limited funding, and low morale have been the hallmarks of an agency that has long been the silent cornerstone of national security. A recent working visit by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defence and Interior to the prison's headquarters in Accra has brought a sense of hope to the agency. Officers laid bare the harsh realities of their daily lives, highlighting the institutional challenges that have long plagued the service. The Chief Legal Officer, DDP Charles Ameyao, presented a candid assessment of the agency's struggles from inadequate infrastructure to budgetary constraints.
If you look at just 4 prisons, they take care of more than half of the prisoner population. Nsawam was built for 850. You go there today, you have 3,516.
The Director General, Mrs. Patience Bafo-Boni, recounted the burden of serving with limited support and recognition.
Sometime last year, my last born, who is now a lawyer, started working at a chamber. And then she was so happy coming to show me her pay slip. I looked at it and I asked myself, so what am I doing with the Ghana Prison Service? And then upon second thought, I realized maybe you are not there for the money, you are there for the impact. Sometimes we have to call a spade a spade. I am a criminal, I have committed an offense, and the system has decided to incarcerate me. The system must take responsibility.
Her heartfelt plea was met with a promise of action from the committee chairman, James Agalga. Agalga assured officers that their plight would not be ignored.
With the new knowledge acquired, when we are called upon to do the advocacy, even where we haven't been called upon, we will create a room and do the advocacy so that at the end of the day, issues to do with prisons will be appreciated by the public, and of course, we'll get the government to support.
As officers look to the future, they dare to hope that the promises of reform will translate into tangible action.
I believe that, especially in terms of agric, we have a lot of potential. And with this meeting with the Parliament Select Committee, I believe that the future of the prison service is very bright.
The responses from the Parliamentary Select Committee gives hope that indeed there's something good for the Ghana Prison Service. But in my opinion, I think the industrialization and the agriculture aspect of the presentation should be looked at first, because we are looking at the generation of income to support whatever government gives to us to enhance our operations.
With renewed parliamentary interest and a commitment to change, the Ghana Prison Service may finally be on the path to a brighter future. For Joy News, Adobe Asari.
Now, Parliament has passed a new bill to make major changes to Ghana's holidays, including the restoration of September 21st as Founders' Day. The previous government changed the day to Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day without a public holiday to mark August 4th as Founders' Day instead. But the new Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 has reversed the order, including other major changes, and James Aveji will give us the details.
Minister for Interior Mohamed Mutaka Mubarak, in laying the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 before the House, made 2 key announcements. One is the restoration of 21st of September as Founders' Day, and he also indicated that all holidays which fall on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays would be observed on Friday, and those that fall on weekends would also be observed on Monday. And in all, Ghana will be observing a total of 14 holidays every year.
We've taken out the 4th August as the then being termed as Founders' Day, because we believe that as a country we are not unanimous around it, and it's served as a divisive day for us as Ghanaians. So we've taken that out, and we have maintained the 21st September, and now we term that as the Founders' Day, which is the date of birth or the birthday of Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the man, the founder of our country, the one who led us into independence. What we intend to do with this amendment is simply to say that if a holiday falls in the middle of the week, that is Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, it should be observed on a Friday. If it falls on Saturday and Sunday, it should be observed on Monday.
The minority, through the leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin, registered strong opposition to to the bill being taken under certificates of agencies. As he says, there are other matters of importance for government to prioritize and not holidays.
We don't have the 24-hour economy bill. Where is it? That is a bill that would have created jobs, as you promised. 1 job, 3 shifts. Many of our youths are not getting jobs. You have not prioritized it. And then you come here, you say, holiday, holiday, holiday. You are interested in holiday, holiday, holiday. The Minister of Interior has not come here with a bill to introduce reforms under the various agencies under his ministry. Or he comes under certificates of agency, holiday, 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 netashia, netashia, nekaya nuchumo, netashia, nekaya nuchumo.
The debate before passage of the bill has largely been centered on the age-long controversy as to whether or not Dr. Kwame Nkrumah must be celebrated as the only founder of the nation, Ghana.
Even as adults, we are all singing the praise of Kwame Nkrumah and all the people who suffered. And we are still honoring everybody. I will honor every one of them that suffered for Ghana, including you, Mr. Speaker. We all do that. And so for me, I'll give honor to everybody. But we recognize that Kwame Nkrumah was the one who ultimately stood and we got the independence. So we'll celebrate him on his birthday. That I agree. I don't have a problem with that.
Honourable members, the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 is duly read the 3rd time and passed.
After this passage, the President, John Dramani Mahama, is expected to assent the bill into a law which would allow the 1st of July to be observed as a public holiday. From Parliament House here in Accra, I am James Savaji for Joy News.
Now, the Director General of the Institute for Educational Planning and Administration at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Michael Boakye-Yadom, has criticized how educational policies are implemented in Ghana. Speaking at the first quadrennial conference of heads of basic schools in Kia municipality, Professor Boakye-Yadom indicated that funds allocated for executing educational policies are often misappropriated, stating that activities of education stakeholders do not align with Ghana's education sector plan. Abigail Nkrumah has more.
The first quadrennial conference of heads of basic schools corps in the commended Dinegwa-Fabre municipality was on the theme Transforming Basic Education in Ghana, Challenges and Opportunities. The chairman of corps KEA, Godwin Fiagbeji, shared the significance of the conference.
This conference presents a platform to identify the key issues affecting basic education in our municipality, be it infrastructure, staffing, policy implementation, or administrative challenges. More importantly, it provides an opportunity to excellence, exchange of ideas, and solutions that are both practical and innovative. Our focus remains resolute to ensure that the head teacher is not a mere manager of school activities, but a transformative leader at the very core of national development.
Chairing the conference, the Director of Education in the Accra Metropolitan, Justine Ivy-Apao, described the heads of basic schools as the foundation of the country.
You teachers, head teachers, especially the basic school, we are the foundation of the nation. We are the hallmark of the nation. And I keep on telling you, my honorable members, that don't look at the people at the top. Look at what you can do. So never give up. Never give up as a teacher, as a head, as a CISO, whether you are in the office, whatever position that you are holding in Ghana Education Service, Minister of Education, never give up. KEA, I'm very proud of you.
Professor Michael Boakye-Yadom, the Director General of the Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, IEPA, at the University of Cape Coast, criticized the implementation of educational policies in Ghana.
Implementation of educational policies. So in Ghana, we have the Education Sector Plan 2018-2030. That document is supposed to guide our educational everything till 2030. If you look at a lot of things that we are doing, they are not in that policy document. A developer partner will come, oh, I have $2 million for this. Is it in the education sector plan? It's not there. Oh, we will do it. They will take the cash and we will use it to do something, to represent something. These are all challenges, and sometimes we think it doesn't affect us at our level. It does.
From Commander, Abigail Lissel Nkoma reports for Joy News.
Well, that takes us into a business update now with Samuel Kujubrace.
Let's do business update now, and we'll start with what is happening in the currency market. Well, away from that, the Ghana Revenue Authority has been, says from July 1, 2025, will commence a 15% value added tax on non-life insurance premiums. The following report has details.
Social media pages, the GRA said starting July 1st, 2025, a 15% VAT will be applied to non-life insurance premiums in Ghana. According to the GRA, the tax will affect property, health, and travel. Motor insurance is, however, exempted. The tax handle is expected to improve revenue collection for government to help meet government's targets set in the 2025 budget. By this, individuals or businesses will pay 15% more to insurance companies in exchange for an insurance policy which provides financial protection against potential losses or damages. This will bring additional costs to policyholders.
Let's now bring you an update on what is happening on the commodities market. That's all in the business update on the AM News. Time now for us to bring you the AM Sports with a man who pronounces his name more like Mubarak. But stay on and watch him.